Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's class, the second class of the 7-day plan, if you're following the 7-day plan. So today's class is going to be a gentle yoga, so something more like a cross between my pregnancy class and a Sunday's slow and restore. So we're starting to move a little bit more into this 7-day plan now. As always, if you'd like to practice with props today, then I highly encourage it. Doesn't make you a bad yogi. In fact, it makes you a better one for knowing when you actually need to use a prop. I've got my usual bolster, bricks, blocks. Use a strap as well. I've forgotten to put that strap there, to be honest. You can use a chair, a wall, a footstool. It's always a nice one to lean onto as well. Once you've got everything you need, obviously including a mat, I'll meet you right here. So we're starting in a nice comfortable seated position. If that does not feel good, obviously you can prop yourself up. You can always come to a child's pose or anything else that makes you feel good. Once you arrive into your place, close down the eyes and sit nice and tall. Softening into your breath. And right away, let's take those real big inhales through the nose. And those nice long exhales through the nose. Inhales through the nose. Exhales through the nose. One more together, taking a big breath in. Big breath out. So you're starting to build on that internal heat, building the inner fire. Maybe in this next round you'd like to slightly constrict the throat, or restrict the throat, sorry. Starting that ujjayi breath. So almost like you're smearing a mirror out in front of you as you take that exhale through the nose. If it's not in your practice, just simply notice the inhales and the exhales. Again, keeping them nice and soft. And then come to notice what the body's asking of you today. Notice what the mind is asking of you today. Whenever you're ready, gently blink the eyes open. Nice soft gaze out in front of you. Just opening back up into the external gaze. And slowly noticing where you physically are in this room. Placing the hands on top of the knees, come to a seated position if you're not already. So nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. Pressing into the sitting bones. Crown of the head towards the ceiling. We're just going to do some belly rolls here. So you're going to roll towards the right, forwards, left, and back. So you can take this slow or as fast, as small or as big as you like. And then the other way. And then coming back through center, finding that stillness. Interlace your fingers back behind your lower back. Roll the shoulders back, keep the elbows micro bent here, and then sit a little bit taller, nice proud chest. You can stay here if you feel that this is enough and you want a little bit more. You can straighten the arms back behind you. If the gripping of the hands is too much, this is where a strap will be super handy. So a little bit taller, maybe you want to begin to arch into the spine a little bit more, tilt the head back. And then slowly release, shake it off. Dropping the left hand to the outside of your left hip. As you inhale, reach your right arm nice and high. Exhale, side bend over towards the left. You can stay here, maybe the forearm lands. Maybe it doesn't feel good and you want to pop back up. Keep pressing into that right sitting bone as you reach over through towards the right fingertips. Inhale lifts you all the way back up, reach the arms nice and high. And then as you exhale, tip it to the other side. And then coming all the way back up. We'll come to a tabletop position, hands and knees. So hands shoulder width distance apart, index finger at least facing forwards. Knees underneath the hips. You can have the toes tucked or untucked, completely up to you. We're coming for your traditional cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest through the arms, tilt the head back, sitting bones back. And then as you exhale, opposite direction. Roll the chin towards the chest, hollow out the belly as you bring the sitting bones towards the ground, action of. 2 more like that. So inhale, drop the belly, pull the chest through the arms, look up. And then as you exhale, round it in. Keep pressing into the inner palms. One last time, you inhale for your cow pose. And then as you exhale for your cat. Neutral spine. Shake it off if you like. Roll it around into the shoulders, lubricate them. And then we'll step your right foot forward between the hands. Okay. Check in with your front knee. We'll lift your torso up. So let's go 90-90 in the legs here. Front knee stacks on top of the ankle and it's facing forwards and it's definitely not rolling in. And we'll go with the left knee underneath the left hip. Squeeze into the inner thigh. So imagine that there's a small grape. You're trying to pop it. Engage into your pelvic floor. Wrap the outer hip. Find your stability. Right hand on top of the right hip. As you inhale, reach your left arm high. Exhale, side bend over towards the right. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, fingertips finds the ground or to a block. Half split, front leg straightened. So you notice how I'm scooching my left knee behind me a little bit more to allow more space for this front leg to straighten. Using the bricks, we'll lift the floor up and keep that nice long spine that we look for mainly in a hamstring stretch. I'm pulling my chest forward as I pull my right hip back just to find a little bit more sensation. Take 1 more big inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll reground your front foot. Release the bricks if you've got them. You're going to bring your hands to the mat, shoulder width distance apart. You're going to step your right knee back, come into a short, well actually it's a modified plank pose, so knees are behind your hips. Keeping the 10 toes tucked under, lift your hips up and back. So I always mention this, I see a lot of this rounding in order to keep the legs straight. In a downward dog, the most important thing is the grounding of the inner palms and a nice long spine. So if you've got tight hamstrings, you will need to bend your knees, okay? Let go of that ego, let go of that, and accept the fact you've got tight hamstrings, okay? Nice tall, nice long spine rather. Sending the outer hips back behind you, head between the arms. And then gradually, maybe, your hamstring starts to straighten and you can find the ground with the heels. Maybe they don't. Don't be attached. Just find what works for you right now. So I'll keep the knees bent for the purpose of this class. Keep pressing into the finger pads. Take 1 more big inhale. Exhale, lower the knees to the mat as you step your left foot forward. Squeeze into the inner thighs. Find a railway track. Arms towards the ceiling. So just adjust yourself once you arrive here. I'm squeezing into the midline. Everything is engaged. Take a big breath in. Exhale, left hand on top of the left hip as you take a side bend to the right. And then inhale as you all the way up, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands to the mat, half splits. So again, maybe you want to use the bricks. Maybe you don't need to on this side. Do you notice how my spine doesn't change when I let go of the bricks? Yeah, so just be mindful. Don't let go of the bricks because, you feel like your hamstrings don't need it, when in fact you might do. Remember, the part of the yoga practice is to find acceptance. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, ground your front foot, hands to the mat, step it back. Downward dog. Keep the knees bent, nice long spine. Really pull the outer hips back and up. And again, maybe your leg starts to straighten. And notice that if it does, my spine doesn't change. So just be aware of that. Keep squeezing into the forearms, engage into the pecs. Keep breathing. Take one more big inhale. And as you exhale, shift the gaze out in front of you as you slowly walk to the top of the mat, folding forwards. Feet a bit hip width distance apart. And just pedal it out through the knees, the legs sway. You can stay here, maybe grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your back, send the arms over the head. And then slowly release. Right fingertips finds the ground or to a brick, left hand onto your lower back. And take a deep inhale, send the right shoulder forwards. And as you exhale, twist towards the left. So my right knee starts to bend and my left quad is engaged. Staying here, maybe reach your left arm high. Come back through center, we'll take it to the other side. Try not to allow the twist to come through the hips too much. Allow it to come through the upper back. And then slowly release. Scoot your feet nice and wide, maybe wider than the mat. Pivot 10 toes out slightly, we're coming into a yogi squat. So maybe you're here. Right. You can bring the palms together and you sit comfortably into the inner hips. And for a lot of us, it's not comfortable in the inner hips or the ankles or the feet. And if that's the case, then sit on the brick. You can sit on a chair, sit onto the ground, the bolster, whatever feels good for you. Can you bring the sitting bones towards the ground a little bit more as you bring the crown of the head towards the ceiling? Take one more big inhale. And then as you exhale, release the fingertips behind you, bring the seat to the ground. Left foot slightly out in front of you, or the left heel as you lean back. Cross your right ankle on top, seated pigeon pose, or figure four. Flex into the right foot as again, maybe bring your right hand on top of the right knee, encourage the knee to go down towards the mat, or you can use your hips to kind of do the action for you. Releasing the foot to the ground and then just gently sway the knees side to side. And then other side. Crossing the left ankle on top. And then slowly release. So nice and tall. As you place your right hand on top of the left knee, left fingertips behind you. So take a deep inhale, sit nice and tall, and as you exhale, gentle twist. Inhale, come back to center, sit nice and tall. Exhale, left hand on top of the right knee, right fingertips behind you. Take a deep inhale, find your length, exhale, gentle twist. So again, make sure that you're not leaning too far back and then finding the twist, because you really want the twist to come into the upper back. Maybe the gaze shifts over towards the right shoulder. Come back to center. Close down the eyes as we drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Just a nice gentle neck stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left ear drops to that left shoulder. And then sitting nice and tall. Closing down the eyes if they're not already. You can always lie down and come for your traditional Shavasana. It's completely up to you. As you begin to slowly release the effort in the breath. You can stay here for as long as you need to. If you feel ready to close your practice, come to a seated position if you're not already. So nice and tall. And bring the hands together, heart center, and bow the head forwards. Showing love and gratitude to yourself and to this practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.